Dave, congratulations, new contract signed. You must be absolutely delighted.
Yeah, absolutely. It's good to, I suppose, finally be able to put things to bed and get things sorted. It's been a quick turnaround and something that's probably taken longer than everyone would have anticipated and hoped. But there's lots of detail to go through in terms of these things, and they have to be right. But like I say, thankfully we've got there. And not that focus wasn't on winning football matches. Sole focus now can be on that thing and moving the club forwards.
You've had continuous success since you joined the club, but for you, I know it all hasn't just obviously been about the success. You've really felt at home at Hartlepool, obviously not just at the club but the community as well.
Yeah, listen, the welcome I had at the club, not just myself but my family, has been amazing. I took the job knowing it would be a challenge potentially. I think with probably people when I came into the job pretty sceptical about what I'd achieved previously, and always that in the background as to whether you can come and be a success. And on the flip side of that, lots of people telling me not to come to the football club because it's a poison chalice and you can't have success there and it's not built to move forward. And I think in both them instances we've proved people wrong. But what we have done is hopefully given, not that it was taken away from them, but given the supporters a feel of their football club back. Like I say, since I came in, I knew this was a big club. I knew it was a club that was based around the town and the supporters. I didn't realise how big it was in terms of that as a dynamic. And all we've done is given a little bit of optimism back. And thankfully that optimism has turned into success. Don't get bigger success than what we did last season in terms of getting promoted. A massive achievement. And like I said, one that everyone will remember for a long time, but it's important that achievement becomes a sustainable one, and we've got to make sure that the work we do now moving forward builds the club, builds the infrastructure, and continues that success and continues that momentum to move the club forward. And that's in lots of different facets, not just on the pitch, but obviously I'm focused with making sure that the on the pitch side of stuff is in order. And everyone plays a big part of that, like I say, and the supporters have been pivotal to that happening. I'm really happy that we've been able to give them some joy in terms of what's happened out there, be it on a Saturday afternoon or be it on a Tuesday. It's been a memorable 18 months.
You mentioned it there, the fans so important to obviously this decision to sign. You know, you went a whole season, really, your first full season without the fans at all, but it really emphasised to me how important it's been every time you walk out on a Saturday and you see the whole Victoria Park absolutely bouncing. You know, you've really become a real strong affection with these fans as well.
Yeah, it has, and it's not just here on a Saturday. I think you need to look at walking around the town, whether it be popping into shops, all those sorts of things. The big one for me was the bus parade, in terms of not just the amount of people, the spectrum of people that were out, from young kids to old age pensioners who I suppose appreciate what we achieved last year and are a part of the football club, not just a part of the football club because they turn up and they travel to all the away games or they turn up here on a Saturday afternoon. The football club is part of their lives, even if they're not here. So that feel-good factor about the town's massive. What you have to do is maximise that and recognise that that gives us the best chance of moving forward. Like I say, in terms of me personally, the backing that I have had, granted with success, don't get me wrong, has been brilliant. But like I say, hopefully the supporters realise what we'll do. I said my first thing I said when I came into the football club was that I can't guarantee success, but I can guarantee trying to put a football team out there that the supporters are proud of, and I can guarantee we'll work our socks off to make that happen. And we have a group of players that do that, and that's a minimum requirement. And we also have a group of staff that is something that's entrenched within what our philosophy and what our mindset is, and we'll continue to work at our maximum. And guess what? Along the way, we know we'll lose games and we'll not play well at certain junctures, but we'll be doing everything we can to make sure we can, like I say, we can keep building on what we've done so far.
When you talk about the success and how great of a journey it's been up to now, sign a new contract, you can now kind of look ahead without kind of thinking about this anymore. Have you set yourself and your team, I suppose the staff team as well, specific targets, and what are you wanting to target generally going forward as Hartlepool United manager?
I think you can always look ahead anyway. I think, although like I said, this has been going on in the background, and some may use it as an excuse, as a distraction. It's not been for me. If things get sorted out, things get sorted out. It doesn't affect how I do my job and how I go about my job. And it's the same with the staff. As I said, we've had success, and we've got back to being a football league club. Success can be measured in lots and lots of different ways. As I said, we have to make this sustainable, and sustainable is staying in the football league. We know where we are, and we're, in terms of history, in terms of fan base, we're a big club in the division. In terms of infrastructure, and in terms of where we are at the moment financially, we're a small club, and we're a club that still is continuing to grow, and has to be the case. This has to be the starting point of us moving forward, like I say, and growing everybody across the board, on the pitch, off the pitch, all those different things. But to give ourselves the best chance of doing that, we have to be in the Football League. So without question, the first milestone for us is to make sure we're safe and get to, whether it be 50 points, as quickly as possible. But in order to get to 50 points, we've got to get to 16 points on Saturday, then we've got to get to 19 points and 20 points, and you tick things off. That's where we're at. The quicker we can do that, the better. You can reassess targets. One thing's for certain, you can't get to 70 points without getting to 50 first. So that's where we are, and there'll be, like I say, there'll be bumps in the road, but we've just got to do whatever it takes to get points on the board as quickly as possible, keep momentum moving forward, like I say, with obstacles, and if we do that, everyone will be fine.
You've committed your future to Hartlepool United. You mentioned family earlier on. How big have they been a part of this decision to stay with the club, and they really seem like they're really enjoying being a part of that?
They're massively important to everything I've done. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for them. It's been tough, and it's been a large part of why there's probably been a little bit of uncertainty around getting contracts sorted and stuff. It's still tough. Like I say, it's not easy being away from them, and at times being away from home. We've two sons in different positions. One moving up here to University of Durham. One started a scholarship program at Chester. So there's still uncertainties, but like I said, the reception and the welcome they've had to the football club, as well as me since we've been here, has been brilliant. But without question, they're the most important part of my life. Take football out of it, most important part of my life by a long shot, in front of anything. And them and the support they give me allows me to be able to do the job to the best of my ability, and thankfully alongside that has come a little bit of success.
Just going back to the fans a little bit, I know you know a lot about Hartlepool, and maybe over the years there's been a lot of negativity surrounding the club of previous managers, and I think a lot of fans really appreciate just how truth and frank to the point you are in interviews, and just kind of saying how it is. And do you ever sit down and kind of realise what hope and optimism, and it's almost that fire in the belly you'd give these fans back?
You always sit back. I think listen. Sometimes it's tough. Listen, when I spoke to Mark and the chair about coming in, they were probably of a little bit of a belief around how potentially the club needed to be run and the players needed to be managed, and whether that was a little bit arm around people. Now I'm more than happy to put arms around people, but what I'm not going to do to people is lie to people or not tell the truth, because that ultimately gets no one anywhere. My job is to, as a coach, if you take the club out of it, is to make the players better and make the team better. Now, if someone needs telling they're not doing the job, or they're not capable of doing what I want from them, then if I put my arm around them and say, oh, it's okay, you're doing fine, then I'm kidding themselves, I'm kidding myself, and they ain't going to get any better. And come the end of their career, they'll look back and go, well, he didn't really tell me the truth, he didn't really help me get to where I wanted to get to. And with all of those situations, as much as the focus at the time is Hartlepool, the end game for players coming here can't be Hartlepool. The end game's got to be, I am at the minute playing as it was in a National League team. I want to be playing in League One. So what do you need to do in order to get that? Sometimes, listen, you have to be careful with what you tell what people and what you say to what people. But like I say, I'm not sort of telling other people something I've not told them. I'll be dead straight with them, let them know where they're at, let them know what they need to do, and if they do that, again, I would hope that they'd realise that with the sort of what I've been through in terms of as a player and as a manager through my time, I've learned an awful lot. I'm still learning, you learn every day. But if they can take little bits on board and try and do that, then I'd hope they'd have a pretty successful career. There will be bits that I'll tell them that quite happily forget about and think he doesn't know what he's talking about. More than, like I said, more than happy to accept that'll be the case at times. In terms of what that sort of equates to people and fans' feelings, I've always, like I say, I've always been I know since being here what the club went through, and I know this part of the world has been probably starved of football success for a long time, and it's not just this football club, the football clubs around here are pretty much the same. So there becomes a glass half empty sort of feel to everything. Like I say, I think what we've done is just given them a little bit of the club back, and all of a sudden you're not looking at fractions between supporters and different supporters groups having different agendas and looking after themselves. All of a sudden you've got everyone pulling in the same direction, and that can be a really powerful tool. And like I say, long may that continue, because it has become a special place to play. We've got to make sure that it's a special place regardless of results, because we're on a brilliant run here, but it can't continue. I'd love to be able to say this will continue for the next 4 years. The reality of that is slim to none. But it's still, like, we've made the football club, or put the football club back in a place where it's really positive and really forward thinking. We can't let it drift back into where it has become, and the responsibility of that again lies with us and the people within the building. But the fans play a huge part in that. This is their football club. They'll be still here when all of us have moved on to pastures new, wherever that might be. So remember that it's your football club. Make sure you support it in a way that allows things to move forward as people move on.
Dave, that's fantastic. Everything from me. Congratulations on the new contract. This might be the biggest outro that any Hartlepool fan might want to watch. I don't know if you can look down the camera for me, but Dave, thank you very much.
Cheers, thank you.